Camera number 390, and we have a Ricoh 500 ME. It's a series of Ricoh 500s. This is the ME, which is multiple exposure, and like the others, a very nice format camera, very light and very easy to use. It can really be a camera whatever you want it to be, really, in the sense that without a battery, which is housed in the compartment here in the base. Without a battery, the camera, full range of shutter and apertures are available, but you have no light meter. So let's just open the back, which we do by lifting up the rewind crank, just to show the camera in manual mode, but without a light meter. I'll put it on B, and I'll select aperture of f16, and we'll see that there you go, there's a little aperture of f16. However, if we put it on to f2.8, the aperture is wide open. So in manual mode, the camera requires no batteries, and you just use it as you wish, really. You have shutter speeds of B up to 500, but as I say, you have no meter to use that, so you'd have to use a Sunny 16 rule or a handheld meter, but very useful feature that, I believe. That was a shutter of 1/500th of a second. Let's put it at f2.8. So too quick. There we go. Let's just put it on 1/8 of a second. There we go. So that's it in manual mode. However, to use the camera in what really could be regarded as aperture priority mode, we have to set the camera to the aperture ring to A, which we do by rotating the dial. Can you see that there? A. And we then need to put a battery in. Now, the battery originally was a 1.3 Mercury 625, I believe, but we don't know, they're not available. So an LR44 will happily fit into the camera, and we have the orientation there with the positive going this side. And so, of course, the meter will be slightly out. It will be affected by the slight difference in current of a 1.5 LR44, but nonetheless it works. And from the time I've gone out, it didn't really make a huge difference to the exposure. That seemed to be okay. So with the battery in, we now have the camera set to A, and so when we change the when we change the shutter speed, the camera will respond by setting the correct aperture. And when you look through the viewfinder, I don't think you can see that there, along the right hand side we have our apertures. So when we're looking through the viewfinder, we're changing our shutter speed to acquire a particular aperture. I suppose you could also view this if you wanted to as a shutter priority. You choose the correct shutter speed that you want, and then the camera responds by choosing the correct aperture. So it really is a camera that you can regard as full featured, in the sense that you can use it in whatever way you like. We have a battery check, and basically what that does is that will set the meter, and the needle will go to a particular place in the viewfinder there, confirming that you've got a full battery. Our focus ring has a very nice little handle here. It has come off my particular one, so it's been glued back on. And then in the front we select our film speed with the little dial around the ring of the lens here. Looks like it goes up to 800 ISO and all the way down to 25 ISO. There we go. We have a self timer, and then we have on the other side the multiple exposure. Sorry, I said that strangely, didn't I? Multiple exposure lever. And basically, when we've taken our first image, rather than winding the film back on with the film advance, we can cock the shutter effectively by moving the slider, and then the film doesn't wind on, and we can take an exposure again. In fact, we can make multiple exposures on a single. Obviously, you'd have to judge the correct exposure yourself. While we're on the top plate, we've mentioned the film advance, the film counter. This little window here indicates that a film has been inserted, and this little window here shows that the film is being wound on correctly. Okay, hot shoe. We even have a lock for the shutter actuation button, which is very nice. So we can advance the film and then turn it off by rotating the dial, and then take our image. On the base we have option of adding a film motor wind, our film rewind button, which we press, and then that deactivates, if you like, the film advance, and then we can wind our film back into our film canister. So certainly a camera that is feature rich, and potentially one of my favourite cameras at the moment. Really enjoying that, and that's quite something from someone who enjoys using quite heavy cameras, but I found this camera really enjoyable to use. So there we go, that's film camera, or camera number 390.